Welcome to my channel. My name's Jess, and today I'm going to be talking about the adoption process just to help anyone out, whether it be parents or anyone really interested in learning about adoption. So today I'm with Emmy, and would you like to introduce who you are?
Yes, for sure. Hello, I'm Emilce Svetlitza. I work for 10 years in an international adoption agency here in Montreal, and we were doing adoptions for Quebec residents, and we also did adoptions for Ontario and British Columbia.
So let's begin. If someone is interested in adopting, what would be the first step in going through this process?
I will recommend first to go to the website Secretariat l'Adoption Internationale to Quebec, that they will give parents a little bit of information about the countries that are available for them to do an adoption and the requirements as well. And from there, I will also suggest that they will call all the adoption agencies and ask more specific questions.
Let's say that they are eligible, they choose their country of origin, and they want to proceed from there. Then what would they do? Should they contact an adoption agency?
Well, for most of the cases, they need an adoption agency, a certified adoption agency to do the adoptions in the country. So they will have to contact the adoption agency and ask about information sessions and whether they can open a dossier for them or not.
Can you elaborate on what exactly a file is or a dossier is?
Of course. So opening a file, it's once the adoption agency they allow that family to do an adoption or a single person to do an adoption, this family has to fill out a form that and sign a contract with the agency. And the adoption agency then sends that form along with other documents, for example, the birth certificate of the parents and proof of their address. And then it's the agency that has to send that form directly to the Secretariat l'Adoption Internationale, and then the parents will receive an official letter saying that that family has a file open with this secretary, and they have a file number. So that file number allows the parents to start doing the home study.
With the home study, what is that process? What is it exactly?
Okay, the parents have to go to the youth center, Centre de Jeunesse, and present that letter. And also this organism is going to give them a kit. And that kit they ask to go to get the police clearance. They need to do doctor appointments so the doctor can certify that the parents are in good health in general. And then letters of recommendation or other documents. So once the parents fill out all this documentation and they gather all the forms, they can go back to this organism and give them all that dossier. So the Centre de Jeunesse is going to give them, it's going to assign a social worker and give them an appointment to start doing the home study with a social worker. And this social worker is going to have some visits at their house. And then another visit at her office. And she's going to talk with them at the same time and individually.
So let's say everything goes well and then finally you get, I guess, a letter or something that you've been accepted and that there's a child that's proposed. What happens there in that kind of step?
Usually there's a certain time for the parents to accept the proposal. So sometimes the parents can take that information and bring it to a pediatrician or a doctor just to see because they will receive the picture of the child, the medical certificate of the child, and depending on the age of the child, the home study or psychological evaluation of the child. So once they accept, well, depending on the country, there's certain forms they have to complete. Yeah. And then we translate that form saying that they accepted the proposal. Yeah. And then we send it back to the country. Sometimes it's a court has to pronounce that child adopted. Other times they have to do certain paperwork in order for the parents that has to go there and sign the court papers, and so the parents have to wait for the date to go there, to go to the country of origin and finalize the adoption papers, which consist of the court orders, and then they have to start. Not the start, but they already had already initiated the process of immigration to bring the child to Canada. So depending on the country of origin, sometimes the parents can go through the citizenship route and sometimes the permanent residency. So they have to wait either for the permanent resident visa or the Canadian passport for the adopted child. To finally bring the child back to Canada. Okay, could you just briefly explain the difference between permanent residency and citizenship, and like why would one, like adoptive parents, choose one over the other, or could you just elaborate upon that? Yes, well, it's been, I think, since 2007 or 2008 that if one of the parents are Canadian citizen, can go through the citizenship route because they are children of a Canadian citizen. So it's not for everybody. So if there is a family that are permanent residents and they're living in Canada, they cannot go through the citizenship route. Then if a Canadian parent, a citizen, Canadian citizen, decides to take the permanent resident route, they can do it. I will not recommend it because it's a little bit longer, and sometimes it will be faster to do it with the citizenship route if the parents can do it. The final step in Quebec, not in the other provinces of Canada, but only in Quebec, once the child comes to the province of Quebec, the parents have to go to the Quebec court to finalize the process of adoption in this province. But let's say an Ontario resident or any other resident of another province wouldn't have to do that extra step because the other provinces will recognize the court from another country. Depending on the country, the parents have to do progress reports of the children. So they will, the country of origin determines whether it's going to be up until 18 years old or 14 years old, how often they will have to fill out. So where could these parents where do they send the progress reports? To the agency or? Well, it depends on the country. Sometimes it's the parents who has to fill it out, sometimes it's social workers. But in both cases, they will send it to the agency and then we will translate it if it's not in the language of that they speak, and we send it to the country. Thank you for being here, or for letting me be here. It's my pleasure. I love to talk about adoption. Thank you. And thanks for listening, guys. Again, if you want to know more about the adoption process or specific information, I'll leave links in the description. And